Hello. It's nice
Hi.
to see you again. It's been a minute.
Nice to see you as well. How are you?
Good. That's time change, man. I think it's got everybody. Well, I didn't realize it at first until I got in the car and the car's clock was changed. But the computer, the phone, everything already changed, by itself. So,
We
but when
don't
do you?
change, I think, for 2 weeks, for maybe another week or two.
Oh, wow. So this is
Yeah.
good for you then because
Yeah,
you don't
right
have
now it's
to be late.
yeah. In a way, yeah. We're running a little behind, but yeah, it's good. I get to bed early. I know it sounds horrible and boring, but it's true.
Oh, no.
So
I need my beauty sleep. I get you. I totally get it.
yeah, I'm
Um,
usually up by like 5:40 in the morning. So
Yeah, I woke up late today. I didn't wake up till 7:55, which was really I guess 6:55. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm late. I'm late."
no, you're good, you're good.
So, hello
Oh my
Nancy,
goodness.
Monica, Shania, Rob. Oh,
Hi
Nancy needs her hour
everybody.
back.
Oh, I know. We all need our hour back, right?
But y'all gonna
Oh,
be loving it during the summer being able to stay out later though.
yeah, I guess. Like, I
Oh,
don't
don't
know.
sound so excited.
I don't know. I'm thinking I would like maybe more sleep. I don't know. I like sleep.
I do too.
I,
It
I like
doesn't
sleep.
matter if the time changes or not. If I want a nap, I'm gonna take a nap.
I need a nap on a very regular basis. I need a nap.
Yeah. Hi, Julia. I think Tanya. Let me see when she'll be here. I lost my train of thought. I'm having a moment. Maybe I do need that hour back.
You need the hour back now. You can see what time Tanya's going to be here. And let's see. Well, then let me just let everyone know. Today we're talking about jealousy and workings in the spiritual community.
Working
That
against each other.
working against each other in the spiritual community, which I know we've touched on the subject multiple times, but it definitely seems as though it's something still quite prevalent at the moment in time. So yeah, we'll touch base again on it today. I think the really tough part about jealousy in the spiritual community is everybody feels like it's a race or it's all about the title.
Oh yeah.
Someone's gonna take their spot, and I mean, just like anything, yes, there's competition. I have to admit that when I stepped into the spiritual community, I was thinking, that maybe there'd be a little less competition, a little less pettiness. Um, but then I came to find out it's just as bad as anything else. We're all humans, right? So that's kind of what we're working with. But I guess a lot of people want to know, how do you curb the jealousy? Why is the jealousy there in the spiritual community? How do you work with, you know, things, or how do you work around your peers in the spiritual community working against you, especially when it's people that you would not expect to be working against you.
Yeah.
So we'll
Um,
talk about that.
I got some kind of notice about Tanya's page. So if anybody does get kicked off, there is a link to watch it on YouTube. I don't know what's going on with that at this time.
I think it's on both of our pages as well. It's on your Mademoiselle Lynna, and it's on the Calico Goddess as well.
Yeah,
But
on,
it is
on
definitely
the
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, and it's on the group. But yeah, the YouTube link is in every post. So if you get kicked, whatever page you're on, just click on the link.
Yeah.
That way you don't miss out on anything. But yeah, back to what you were saying. When I came into the magical community as well, it was like, because I did things on my own before I really, well, shit. When I got started, there was nothing but MySpace, okay? Because we didn't have all this, you know. But so when Facebook started rolling, and we got away from the AOL, um, I thought that, because I don't know if I was naive, if I was innocent, or what the deal was, but I thought that we were all supposed to be like family. And it's not like that. It's not like that at all to me.
I'm like, right? I'm like, I look dead. Sorry, I was like, wait, I can't undead myself right now.
Yeah, and we're both wearing gray, so it's kind of a.
I'm like, yo, like I'm dying either which way I go about it. I'm like, man, oh man. But
Is
go ahead. I'm
is
sorry.
that what you thought too? That it was supposed to be like a family? Were you shocked?
I did. I thought, you step into it because once again, I'm just like you, solitary.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna meet people. You guys are gonna, you're gonna grow. You're gonna learn. It's a community, right? You're thinking, yes, these are my people, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a level of awareness and a level of empathy and compassion that's not out there. Sophie, stop. That's normally not out there in the everyday dogma or group settings, and come to find out sometimes in many cases it's just as worse. I mean, it's worse. If it's not just as bad, it's worse. um
Well,
and
I
I
did
do
some really good magical people on MySpace. It seems like Facebook kind of fucked things up.
Well, I met really good
There's a lot
magical
of
people
drama.
on Facebook, but I think what happens is everybody has to have a title, or everybody feels like they have to be right, or everyone's trying to fit in with something, or everyone's just following along.
Everyone's
um,
entitled.
Everyone is entitled. If you don't do it this way, then you're wrong. If you and the jealousy part, I think, which surprised me, is among many of the people who are supposed to be teaching. A lot of teachers, well, not I want to say many teachers, as you get into the community, you find that they don't want their students to surpass them or to learn more than they do.
Oh, that's
They want
very
them to know
true.
what they know. And that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, you are wanting people to grow. You're wanting people to learn. But then I also find that if you're not a part of a certain sect or niche, so to say, then you're automatically also, in many cases, cut out. Like, oh, you don't do that? No. Okay. So you have people who are all about the crystals only and love and light. And I was like, okay. And the three, the three rule. Oh my God. The Wiccan read and the three
Yeah,
whatever rule. I'm
yeah.
like, the
Oh,
threefold law.
law,
I
yeah.
was like, oh my God, I lost it. Then you have those who are in the ATRs, and then you have those who are in, just certain sects. And they're like, well, if you are not part of these, then you're really kind of not relevant. So then
Right.
in many cases, many people feel isolated, right? Because they're not knowing where they want to go yet. So, but then you have people which step onto the scene. And yes, they're new, they're fresh, but they're also way gifted. And you can tell just the moment they get there, they're way gifted. And you have people that either want to isolate them, grab them, mold them into something,
Or
um,
or destroy them
or destroy
because
them. Automatically just
they're
want to
afraid
be
of
human.
them. And it's
And you're
not
just,
just teachers either, though. It's just
it's
like,
just people.
well, even like we're all three readers. Say, oh, I'm jealous of Tonya because she has more followers than me, so I'm gonna do some work on her because, you know, what the hell is that shit? You know.
Well, it's,
And I'm not gonna do work on you, Tonya. Don't worry. I'm calling you, asking you for advice. Hey, no.
Girl, my spirits have me. I try not to worry about stuff like that because there's always going to be jealousy, not even in just the community, in anything with life.
Do you know how many knots it took to tie to put that thing on your head?
Exactly.
No, I ain't doing nothing.
No, I don't worry about it. I mean, is it annoying? Is it frustrating? Yes, but
Disappointing. It's disappointing to me.
I'm more disappointed than anything.
it is disappointing. But I have had, and I don't want to say the pleasure, but I have seen a lot of people that have had issues with me just kind of fall to the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows me that my ancestors are really like watching my back. And I think honestly, when you come into the community, the focus should be on connecting with your spirits first. That's the whole reason the awakening is happening, for you to connect with your spirits. Everybody else is just a part of that journey. And unfortunately, you have to see the negative so that you can start, that's part of your journey, is pushing out the riffraff, so that you can move forward. But I think a lot of people are surprised because, of course, everybody thinks the spiritual awakening is kumbaya.
Yeah.
I'm going to get with these like-minded people and we're going to grow and we're going to save the world. And then you realize people have different agendas. Some people don't even come into it for the right reason. And then some people are just fucking evil.
Most people don't come into it for the spirituality. Most people come into it for the magic because they've been hurt. That they want to come in and that's what they want to learn. But and those people, there are some of those people who evolve and get in for the spirituality and go it for the long haul. But there are others that just don't. And those are the ones, if you're not coming in for the right reasons, that do fall to the wayside. But while they're there, you know how, like when a boat goes across the water, you got that wake. Some people leave a huge wake in just that little bit of time. And we've seen that last year when all those people were getting called out for being fake. Those people made a huge wake on the community. Even, some of them only lasted a couple months, while others lasted years.
I think, a lot of people, even if they do fall the wayside, it's not all the time because they got into it for the wrong reason. Sometimes because they hit the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were just scooted to the side forcefully.
That's
but
true, yeah.
But then it doesn't mean that they were fake or anything. It was just they got got. The other part is, it's been happening for many years where we've all encountered where all of a sudden we've been helping people grow and rooting them on, and then we got jacked up.
Yeah.
Or like we're the ones that they came for, the people that were supporting you. And so, I mean, it was even beyond last year. It was the years before. I mean, and even now, with just people feel as though you owe them something.
Mm-hmm. Back to that entitlement.
And they're like, well, you know me, I know you, so you should just give. Well, that's an incorrect attitude.
Yeah.
I've learned no one owes you anything.
That's taking advantage of people too.
Yeah. Well, the best advice somebody gave me in the spiritual community is a friend today is an enemy tomorrow, which means that you really need to watch who you connect with. And a lot of times we have really misguided mentors that take in mentees. And if you're weak-minded, there's cult references within spirituality. People attract certain cliques, people attract certain people, and people are drawn to certain covens and groups and cliques because they want the negative aspects. They want the dark magic, the black magic. And so they seek out people that tend to, if you're easy to manipulate, spiritual growth is a very tricky path to navigate because you have to think for yourself. And a lot of people that end up coming through an awakening are looking, they're searching, they've gone through some type of trauma in their life. So they're wide open, and they're thinking, I'm going to meet the spiritual person and they're going to elevate me and they're going to, open my mind up and I'm going to grow. But two, it depends on who you get attached to, because there's a lot of people that I liked a few years ago that turned out not to be the best of people.
Right. Me too.
So, I mean, and it was because I was hungry. I was looking for a mentor or somebody that I could follow on the path. And we have to take people off of pedestals, first of all, because they're just human. They're having the same spiritual experience, but the way that they handle it may not be the best way for you. So sometimes when you see the red flags too, you need to, whether this is people that you're friends with, whether this is people you're taking classes with, whether these are people that are mentoring you, you have to look at the red flags and be accountable of pulling back and being like, okay, this is not who I want to be. This is not the direction I want to go. And I'm saying that because I had somebody who reached out to me that was in a coven. And the coven, the high priestess in the coven was making them do things that she felt were unethical, that went against her morals. But because she was in the coven there was a cult type mentality that if you go against us, you're going to get fucked up. So she went ahead and she did the stuff that made her feel uncomfortable because she thought if she didn't, there was going to be an issue. The red flag was right there. The moment that you feel like your ethics and your morals are challenged with people, those are not your people because you're not on the same wavelength. But people, we tend to overlook that because of status, or they have something, they're on YouTube, they have a big following. There's a lot of people that aren't who they say they are, that are full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, we also have to keep in mind, like, a lot of the times when you join covens, when you join houses, you are there as a unit. And so it's true, whether you may feel uncomfortable with something or not, if that group and the majority says, hey, that's what we're going to do, you signed on and you joined in for those things. Some covens are much more strict. I mean, some covens, houses, units are much more strict than others. So you have to be very wise in what you join. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have not as of yet joined a coven. Because I don't want to have to really be put into that situation of, do I feel comfortable with this or not? And if I do feel uncomfortable with it, I don't want to have to sit here and feel like I'm shunned because I didn't want to go through with something. And if I want to do something that the coven may say I can't do, I don't feel like asking permission. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. Maybe I'll get my ass smacked later. But if I feel like I want to do something, then I want to do it. You know, it's where I want to go. And depending on what coven, what unit you're part of, you have to sometimes ask before you take that, that jump. Some of them have certain rules. I see Day Day's comment. She's like, it's okay to be a dark worker, as long as it's justified. Now, in reality, I look at it like this. Magic really has no color. I say white, dark, gray, because a lot of people relate to that. But magic has no color. Practice has no color. You could be, they have what they say, light worker, white protective spells. And you're just like, in the end,
protection.
In the end, protection. But in the end, in order to heal, you have to be able to hex. You can't put yourself out and get your ass whipped just because you want to be called a light worker.
Yeah, because in reality, when you're protecting yourself,
right,
what happens to what's being sent to you? It's got to go somewhere. Whether it's returned back to that person, whether it's your pet, your kids, your trees, it goes somewhere. So protection is not all about, I'm just using that as an example, all white light, because somebody somewhere is going to get hurt.
And you can't be scared. I mean, like, there's certain things that I know I don't work with. But at the same time, there are certain things that I do work with that other people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you need to be comfortable. You need to learn and be as knowledgeable as possible when you step into the spiritual community. It doesn't mean you have to jump in and be like, I'm going to summon a succubus or anything like that. No one's saying being crazy. But do take in the knowledge, because once you step into this world, it's sad to say, now that I've been in it for a while, it's open season. I feel like when new people come in, they're like fresh meat, and I'm like, oh, poor thing,
right?
Because because you can tell. But
that's true.
I mean, it's sad and it's scary, but it's like what you said. They see people coming in and they're wide open. But I think what I expected, like Lynna and I were talking about, when I stepped into the spiritual community, I was expecting more wisdom and compassion than more family than what has come across in many ways. I have found my family. I have you. I have Lynna. I have Angela. I have Nika. I have family, my spiritual family. But it took a moment of bumps and struggles and everything else before getting them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they step in, yes, like you said, they're after something, they're after the power, but they're also after wanting to fit in and be nurtured and loved, which is what many people get into it. But when a lot of these people come in who are wide open but also very gifted, then the wolves come out and they're like, we can't let that person grow too much. So let's find a way to suppress them or get rid of them.
I think, and you're right. You're right. There's, some people definitely come in and they're prey. They really are, because they have beautiful hearts and they have sensitive, spirits, and they want to love everybody. But and I think it's a wonderful thing. But I think, like Nika said, people do unjustified things every day. Everybody's moral complex is not the same. So when you go into it, it's so easy to fake the funk, because we have fake spirituality. I mean, all you got to do is go on TikTok. There's so much bullshit on TikTok that makes no sense. And a lot of people that are young, that are just coming into it, they're looking at that and taking it, as the gospel truth, that this is what you're supposed to do. I think even the biggest thing that you have to learn with anything is you have to think for yourself. You never give free will over to other people. I don't even give free will over to my deities. Why would I give it over to a human? No, I want to know what we doing, why we doing it. If I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm out. I'm bouncing. We have to get out of this thing of, just because somebody sounds knowledgeable or intelligent, that they know everything. Spirituality is $1 billion business right now, which means a ton of people are making soaps, they're making oils, they're making juju dolls, they're buying the shit from China and putting labels on it because they're making money. There's a difference
Making away
between
seeds.
yeah, there's a difference between true connection with spirit and then building a brand to make money off of spirit. It's completely different. And if you pay attention, you will see the people that are really connected to spirit versus the people that a class is $20,000, so that you can learn. That's building a brand off of spirit. Because if this person is spiritually connected, do you charge for your knowledge? Of course. But spirit is like, okay, $20,000. You're probably let's say you're gonna give me $1,000 worth of offerings because I'm helping you share this knowledge. What's happening to the other 19,000? What are you doing with that money? And we should have the right to question people on that. But when people start, you can't ask me that question, or I can't answer that, or it's knowledge I don't need to share. Those are red flags to me. There's a difference. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go
Well, I
ahead.
was gonna say there's a difference with marketing a spiritual business versus really working in your community. Working, if you are healers, if you are born to be healers, if you are born to be diviners, you're gonna notice that there's sometimes where definitely you're in situations where people cannot pay you. Do you turn away? Do you not do the work because the money is not there? There are people who do that. Let's be honest, in the community. There are people that will not fuck with you if you cannot pay that price. They don't care if you're dying. They're not going to help you. That is not the connection with spirit. And if you pay attention to people, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we had, I think it was 4 shows back, we talked about it, and we were saying how, people charge a lot of money, and how we were saying that we would never want to outprice ourselves, so to say, from the market, but not really that, just because I don't think for me, I don't want to ever get to the point to where I can't help many people, as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're looking at it, and I think a lot of people forget that, I mean, if we take out the part of us being healers, diviners, trying to help, there are some deities, some spirits that are like, cool, we got you. You want money? Because we're about that money too. So
True.
even, certain deities, certain spirits come with that kind of a pull,
You
there's a
can get played by
carnality of it.
spirit too. If you can get played by spirit. If you set an altar up that you're giving them everything that they want, of course they're going to make sure you keep getting money because they're taking
Getting what they
from
want.
it. But I mean, that's between you and your spirits. But you're absolutely right. If you do money work with a spirit, and you in voodoo, you train spirits. If you want an evil spirit, you abuse it and you make it rough so that it can go attack people. But you have to keep that energy up, or you will get attacked. And if you have a spirit that is demanding of make money, make money, make money, the moment that the thing dries up, or you're not making the money that you need from the people, the spirit is going to be looking at you like, what the fuck? Where's my Chanel perfume? Where's my perfume? I'm gonna fuck you up because you're not giving me what I want.
You have a spirit like that, don't you?
But
That's
here's the
always
thing.
asking for something.
But here's the thing. It's reciprocated. She does a lot for me. So if she wants Chanel, she has Chanel on her altar now. Hell yeah, she got Chanel. And I even bought her a beautiful perfume bottle to put the Chanel in because we work together. But I don't jump every time that she says I want a bottle of Chanel. Now wait a minute. I love you. But this is a relationship. I'm not gonna allow you to use me. Because I wouldn't let a human use me like that. So I'm not going to let my spirits. I love my spirits, but it's a respected relationship. Some people, though, like Shishi said, when you train a deity to live a certain lifestyle, that means your ass going to stay working.
But then also there are certain deities that already want that lifestyle. So
Absolutely.
If you're coming up with a deity that's like, you're like, okay, I've built a relationship with you. You know, we're both about money. And deity's like, yeah, because I love my money. Then what are you going to do? You're working with that deity who loves money or whatever it is as much as you. But then also you have to remember that certain spirits, I mean, what you guys know, but I'm talking everybody, just certain spirits that come with a high price. You know, they come, and certain deities come with a high price. And so you have to ask yourself, are you consistently prepared to pay that price for the success that you say you want? You know? Now, for me, I agree with Tonya. I think it's a mutual relationship, but I also know when I see certain people, I'm like, you're not really connected with all these spirits that you say you're connected with. Why do I say that? Because you can't be. Because certain spirits don't get along, and you're playing with way too many for you to be connected with all of them equally. And that's something else people need to look at. There are just certain deities, certain spirits that will not work well together. Period. You just, and you're like, I work with all of these.
There are whole pantheons that don't get along.
True.
That don't get along. And they're like, oh, we got this one and this one. And they're lining up with millions of these pantheons, million of these deities, many of these spirits. And if you sit down and you really study these spirits, you're like, how are you working with that spirit when that spirit didn't like that spirit? So, and you're working with them at the same time. I don't think that's really how does that work?
Right.
And
so then too, yeah. Oh no, go ahead, Shishi.
So when you sit down and you do your own research, which is why we will always tell you study, you know, and I'm one of those people, like, you come to me like, Shishi, I have a question. Cool. I may not know it. I'm a researcher, but you got to research it too. Don't come to me and say, okay, you know, I want to know this, and you just take my word at it. I don't want you to always take my word at it. I want you to look. Sophie, stop. I want you to look at it for yourself, because that is what's going to help you discern who you want to be involved with and who you want to teach you. And a lot of people are under the impression, oh, they have this many likes, they must be a great teacher. Or they have, look, everybody's saying their name, they must know everything. And the truth is, I have learned more from people who are quiet than people who are loud.
Yeah, absolutely. And then too, I think people have to realize there are certain deities that exhibit jealousy, envy. So sometimes you're dealing with a person's spirit. You're dealing with the energy that comes off of them. If you have somebody that is extremely jealous and possessive, I always tell people, look at the deities that they work with, because sometimes there is definitely a connection with certain spirits that you get with. And then two, a lot of people are too quick to give away knowledge. You know, like I see a lot of people saying, I helped a friend out and they turned on me, or I helped this person and they turned on me. Use your discernment. Not everybody's a friend.
Yep.
Just because people come into your inbox, or, you know, they have lunch with you, people have agendas, especially in the community now, because a lot of people don't want to pay for classes. They will
try to befriend you.
They will pretend. Me and Shishi have seen this with a particular person that we used to read for. This person befriended multiple people, and it was to get free information. And once they drained one person, they just went on to the other person and drained that person and went on to the other person. So this person never had an agenda to be a friend at all. They were using people. And a lot of you are going to come across that. Don't be so quick to intercede for people or share your knowledge. you don't have to charge for your classes if you don't want to. It's a personal decision. I charge, and I think even Nika said, my mentorship is really cheap. It is. It's dirt cheap.
It's
But
great.
here's the thing. My spirits are being taken care of, and my bills are being paid. I don't need, it's not about me taking a big vacation. Extra money, that would be something that's definitely something I could do with. But here's the thing. The knowledge is, I want to pass it down. I want to pass it the right way. I want to make it affordable so people can start protecting themselves and doing things for themselves, because out of my heart, I want you to learn the right way. My spirits are going to be taken care of.
But I also feel like I can
charge, even though you have a big heart, because people respect what they have to pay for. It doesn't have to be $20,000.
Yeah, no, but I do feel like that you should.
Just giving something away for free. If I take a class that's free, I might not ever show up, to be honest, because I just find other things to do. But if I pay for a class, my ass is going to be there.
Well, if you pay $20,000 for a class, your ass definitely is going to be there.
You know, even if it was $100, if I paid $100, I'm going to be there. I'm not just going to blow it off. But if I have a free class that I signed up for, I'm probably going to blow it off. Not even going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've paid for classes and I've been able to show up. So.
Do what?
But here's my deal. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I was like, I don't know. I've paid for classes and been like, ooh, I've got, you know, which is why I'm going to slow it down now. But I think I can say for me and Tonya, because we've talked about it. What I have found is I try to help people, and I don't always charge. And if people are like, how much do I owe you? Sometimes I'm like, well, just donate. And I don't think about it. You know, like if you want to say something, cool. If you don't, then that's cool too. But what I have learned in many cases is when I am giving and I do help people who cannot at that moment help themselves, it comes back to me. Mm-hmm. It does. It somehow it comes back to me in ways that I didn't expect. I may be down on my luck, and then all of a sudden, boom, something amazing happens. And it could be because I helped someone 2, 3, whatever many years ago that I forgot about, you know, and then they come through for me finally at some odd moment that they didn't even know I was having issues. But I also feel like if people feel that the only reason to get into the spiritual community is to be rolling bank and like, you know, completely rich all the time, which is what like I know a lot of people are seeing with many people. Mm-hmm. It's not like that at all. I mean, it really is just like any business. It is a hustle in the sense of you have to be lonely a lot of times and you have to work. And I know sometimes for me that's tough. I'm like, I'm dead tired by the time I get home sometimes. But it is, if you see people and all it is money and all it is peddling, then you have to look and say, is this person really out for my best interest? Now, I know a lot of people, they follow a few certain people. Even I follow them, but I look at these people, I'm like, I'm happy that they're successful, but I can also tell that what they're in it for. Mm-hmm. But I will always be like, great, good job for your success. But there comes a certain amount of responsibility because what's happening is if you sit down and you look at that, why does everyone need to know all the vacations you're taking and everything else that you're taking? And then you turn around and say, oh, why are you jealous of me? Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They pedal and they flash. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be happy about what you're doing, but when you are pedaling and flashing to say, this is what you can do if you take my mentorship. This is what you can do if you pay me $20,000 for this
You're
class.
Building a brand.
You're guaranteed.
You're building a brand. Let's call it what it is. It's a spiritual brand, but it's a brand.
Well, you're building a brand, but then is that brand, I guess sometimes I question, like, is that brand, I guess, sustainable? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then too, here's the thing, because I see a lot of things like that where it is multi-level marketing in the spiritual. Like, come under me, give me this money, and then you can be boosted up and you can live this lifestyle that I live. And that's not going to be 50% of those people that sign up for that class are never going to have the mansion. They're never going to have the mountain vacation. They're not going to have a lot of that, because there is a lot more to the hustle than just this, just with the spiritual aspect of it. The person is not giving them a lot of spiritual knowledge. It's a hustle. It's a business, which is okay with that. Call it what it is.
The business, yeah.
I think
it's business.
Generous saying 50% too.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody. Here's the thing: not everybody that is spiritual or considers themselves spiritual or religious is connected to spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so when we look at that, you got to really kind of dissect it and be like, okay, what is this person's purpose? What is their journey? Where are they headed to? If all they want to do is talk about the mansions and the cars and the clothes and whatever, that's physical. That's material. That has nothing to do with spirit.
You got to figure out if they're a spiritual person or
enlighten me. I want to know, do you see the galaxies when you meditate? Have you seen the creator? Have you talked to your alter ego? Have your spirit guides come to you and healed you? I want to know the spiritual shit. I don't want to know you driving a Beamer. I see people all day long driving a Beamer. That don't mean shit.
We see everything from a to the bins.
Exactly. In my mentorship, the first class was, let me introduce you to your ancestors. Let's do this exercise so that you can see spirit. Not that you can go, oh, look at the beautiful necklace I'm wearing in the mirror. I wanted you to see your people. And they did it. And they saw their people. So now they know that they're connected to spirit. That's how a mentorship, a spiritual mentorship, you should be introduced to your ancestors, to your blood. I don't give a shit about a goddamn Bentley. I don't even want a Bentley. Why do I care if you're driving one?
Right.
I think my thing is, now this is why I jumped into that. Now I want you guys to take note of that. Like, take note of all the people that we follow, because sometimes who you follow is who's suppressing you.
Oh, okay, that's deep. Yeah, I can see that though. I can see that.
I mean, if people are always talking about their vacations and their Bentleys and you don't have that, that kind of puts you down into a depressed mode.
Well, it's the same thing like going to the church and the pastor's like, pay for the pastor vacation, the first lady vacation, and you sitting in the pews, your light's about to be turned off.
Yeah.
So you're watching somebody live the great life through religion or spirituality, but you're not there. So sometimes
it's not even about being there. Sometimes it's about, when you see that, you're striving for something that isn't what you're really striving for.
Well, you're striving for material gains when spirit is so much deeper than that. So much deeper than that. And I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle. I work hard to be able to live a good life. You know, what was that video that I shared on my page where the guy is like, I'm sorry, I've been missing, my lights were cut off, my water was cut off, my cell phone was cut off, but take my money class and I'm going to show you how to make money. And we have a lot of people that do that. They follow people that speak about the stuff, but they actually don't live it. And then on the flip side, you have people that actually are living that lifestyle, but they may not be 100% connected to spirit.
But on another hand,
how will you fit in?
I know this personally is I can do some hella money magic, but I tend to not do it for myself.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
That makes no sense.
I feel weird about doing it for myself. I do.
You have a spirit of poverty upon you, and that comes from religion. Because I know that because I'm Catholic, and Catholics think we're supposed to give everything away and live this life of poverty. But I'd be goddamn if I'm gonna be sitting in the dark eating some cold ramen noodles.
No, my lights are not gonna get shut off.
No,
that won't happen. But I'm just saying,
Not in this camp.
My lights,
No,
Like
I
damn
think
money.
we should
I'm
all
gonna
be successful.
if my
I
lights
mean,
get shut off, it's because I forgot to pay.
well, no,
First-
you need to do
They
that
leave
money
back
work.
home within an hour. I promise you that. You
You
know,
need to do that money work, because if you're good at it, I'd be goddamn. You. Why
your
would you
money
sleep on
work.
yourself?
Don't sleep on yourself. If anything, you
No.
definitely want to sleep on yourself. But I think, okay, so I'm gonna take it back. I want everyone to be successful. Everyone should be successful. Now, let me explain that come on as like the people we follow sometimes are the ones suppressing us. Because sometimes the people we follow don't want to see us get ahead. And if you look like competition, then you're sitting here telling this person that you follow, this mentor, this teacher, all these things, and all you're giving them is ammunition to suppress you. But people don't think that because they're seeing the lights, the glitter, the oh my God. But they don't think high enough of themselves. Like everyone has a spiritual gift. Everybody has the capability to be successful, to rise above, to attain really whatever it is that they want to attain, what's important to them. Now, the thing is, we all want different things. Tanya already said she didn't want a Bentley. Somebody else over there wants a Bentley. So that's
true.
Yeah. What everyone considers success.
See, I'm not gonna knock it. If y'all get a Bentley, I'm gonna ride in that bitch with y'all. But I don't really want one.
why would you want a Bentley? It rains so much, you'd be out there with the towel wiping the spots off every day.
We all have priorities.
Desires. We all have different desires. So what I'm saying is, that's the plus side. Like we can all attain what it is that we want. We can all have our desires. But going back to the topic of jealousy in the spiritual community, people a lot of the time who are jealous automatically assume that you want exactly what it is that they have.
Or they want what you have.
Or they want what you have, which is where you have people in the spiritual community working against you. How many times, like what, we've had our money hit, we've had our health hit, I've had my life hit. You've had, all of us have gotten things thrown.
Yeah. But on the same, I was thinking while you were talking, I was thinking about the cars. I just donated a Firebird. Sometimes our priorities shift. I love that Firebird. That's my baby. Only person that ever drove that car besides me was Tonya, and that's because I was tired. Nobody dropped my car. That's
true.
You know, but I end up donating that car, just giving it away to this organization that helps kids. But our priorities change. And so the way we see those people that we idolize and follow, our view changes of those people because they no longer fit our purpose anymore.
That's also true.
You know, and maybe we don't fit there. When we start to change, that is a threat to them because they know they're going to lose us. You know, you have to think of it. It's not that we weren't good enough. It's that they were scared of losing us because we were outgrowing them.
Well,
we do outgrow things. My Firebird is still an awesome car. Don't get me wrong, but I outgrew the need for that car.
Yeah. No, I mean, like when we're saying that we're not good enough or people don't feel, it's not the mentors or the teachers or the people looking at us. It's the people themselves. Like sometimes we ourselves don't see our gifts and how talented we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, then people are able to tell you until you really learn more about yourself, able to tell you what and who you are, especially when you come into the world, you step into this world and you're vulnerable and you're open. They're like, oh, so you don't have that gift. That's not your gift. And you could very well damn near have that gift.
Yeah. Oh, no, Elisa, we're live. The next rebroadcast that we're going to do, I'm going to do yours.
Well, here's the thing.
What
jealousy. I'm sorry, Shishi.
Our interview with Elisa. If we have to do a rebroadcast, it's going to be the one we did with her.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Jealousy and envy are very human emotions.
They're very.
I felt them. I have felt it. Everybody has felt it. There's an unhealthy component to it if you allow your jealousy to take you to a place where you're willing to do harm to someone else. when I first started reading openly, I was in this group, Medium Psychic Sisters, and Shishi knows that's where we met.
Free and paid readings. Yep.
Yeah, free and paid readings. And I would do free readings, because I was trying to up my gifts and get my practice in. Every time I would do readings, I would see other people that would get readings with other readers, and then they would be on there like, "Oh my God, it was so good. It was the best reading that I've ever got in my life. And I was so happy for this person." And then I would be like, "Bitch, you just got a reading from me 2 days, and you were telling me I was the best thing since sliced bread, but you're not telling them publicly that this is me." And I was feeling some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And Spirit came through, and they really handled my ass. It was like, why do you need the validation? Why do you publicly want this woman to say that your readings were good? And it was because I just didn't want people to think that I wasn't on that level.
Yeah.
So I was envious of these readers that were getting these glorious, reviews. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I got petty. I got petty with them. I was like, don't you fucking come back and get a reading with me. Don't you come back and get a reading with? I was in their inbox. Don't you fucking come back and get no more free readings for you. No more free readings for you. I mean, I was a terror for like a month. I was, y'all, because they pissed me the fuck off.
They hit to your ego.
They did, and that's exactly what Spirit told me. Spirit said, it is your ego that you're feeding. It is not connected to us. It is not connected to your growth. And if you continue to go on this path, it's gonna fuck you up. And I heard that 100%. My biggest fear, and I tell this to everybody, is even as my page grows, even as my business grows, even as a mambo, the major fear, because the Spirit talking to me, is that I don't want to become ego driven, because I was there and it was fucking awful, y'all. To be envious and jealous of people that because they were more gifted, or that Spirit was letting them shine, is a horrible feeling. It's a low vibrational energy. And there's a lot of people that are coming in a community that want to wake up overnight. Oh, I want to be a medium on Shishi's level, and I only picked up my cards or my pendulum, 12 hours ago. We know a reader that came in, got some tarot cards,
$300.
3 months later, they were doing $600, $700 readings, talking about bullshit that people were like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I was just like,
and you know what? Really? You know what the worst part is those same people that paid all those $100 come to us. Can I get a free reading?
Well, because they got played, but it was ego. And the same thing happened to that person. They got ego driven. They weren't doing it for Spirit. They $600, $700 for a reading. You want to make the money. You're giving a bullshit reading and you're trying to make the money because you don't care. But there's a level when you allow your jealousy and your envy to take you to a place where you're willing to do harm. That is a problem that you have to fix, because Spirit is telling you, we don't want this shit. We don't want to work people that have no problem with you. Your spirits, people's spirits are telling them that. Now, you may have certain deities that will work for anything. They don't give a shit. But that's because a person it's a tantrum. It's an adult tantrum. It's ego driven. Why are you not connecting to me? So I'm going to work you. Why are you not wanting to be my friend in a community? I'm going to work you. Why are you not letting me read on your page? I'm going to work you. Fuck that shit. Work as hard as I do. Connect the Spirit and build your own goddamn page up. But don't fucking throw at me because you don't have the ability to do the work. You're not going to say ability. You're fucking lazy. Let's call it what it is. You're fucking lazy.
Exactly. They don't have the
drive. You're fucking lazy. You want to ride somebody's coattail. And look, I don't went into a Nika moment. I was about to call them some lazy ass motherfuckers, but
I was like, please don't say. Look, I thought you were gonna have a Lynna moment and be like, and by the way, so and so on, what's your name? I was like,
oh my god,
no. To be honest, I know who she's talking about, but I can't remember their name. But I know who it is.
I believe I also know.
But I won't say it.
Don't say the name. But also, as long as I mean, you can tell me, but I believe that is the person that worked us, and then we had to go.
Oh,
get
I
other
remember
people
it was
involved.
here. I'll text you.
No, but here's
And
if you are jealous or envious of somebody, you ain't got to throw at them. Work hard. Put the practice in. Connect with spirit. You can be on the same. You may elevate higher.
yes,
But what you do when you throw at people unnecessarily is you cause low vibrational shit to come into your life, and then you wonder why you don't grow. You wonder why you don't get on that level, and it's because you are holding yourself down. Ain't nobody holding you down. Ain't nobody
yeah,
throwing at you so you can't grow. Some fuck shit that you did back in the day fucked you up.
Yeah.
We've
I mean,
all been there. I've
we
done
have
some
been
dirty
there.
shit and I got my ass handed to me because I did some dirty shit. That's the way spirit works. I don't give a shit what level you on. If you come out of pocket and do some shit that you don't have to do to people that you don't have to do it to, you're gonna get a lesson.
Yep.
You're gonna get a lesson.
And there's so much people throwing at people. I mean, I'm gonna tell a story. I'm not gonna say any names. One
Okay.
person can say that you did something to another person. Then that person that you supposedly did that something to, something bad happened to that person. Or something, let's say, unfortunate happened to that person. Now, because of what that first person said you did, which you didn't do, now you're being targeted because of somebody else's bullshits and lies.
Well, that's why you divine. I don't take anybody's word. I don't care what reader you
But there
are.
are people out there working that person because of something somebody else said. And that first person might be batshit crazy. In fact, that first person is batshit crazy.
Well, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it in the community. Here's the thing. There are certain people that do have a voice in this community that probably shouldn't.
Yes.
Because they're not uplifting the community. And here's the telltale sign to me with a mentor, a teacher, or anybody.
Even that one is money motivated.
It is, but here, if you are not lifting your community up and you're constantly tearing it down and you're constantly online fighting with people back and forth, that speaks to your character. That speaks to who you are. I don't want to connect with somebody that is always in the middle of some shit that's supposed to be spiritual. That it doesn't even make any sense. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to argue with people. I want to love on people. I want to grow my spirits. I want to be blessed. I want the people around me to be blessed. If I'm sitting up there in drama every other fucking week, that I'm not connected to spirit. I'm not.
I think
not
that's
the
the
ones
fun
that I want to be connected to.
And I think that's I mean, we've talked about that often, and especially when people come to people like, do you think Shishi's throwing at me? And I just sit here and laugh. I'm like, do y'all know? She's in her own world, not even thinking about anybody. So if somebody's like, Shishi started shit, I'd be like, y'all better just stop lying. And everybody in the whole world knows Shishi did not start shit. Period.
Well, here too, and you know what? That you actually made a good point. Because there have been times where I've seen you in people's reading where there is work. And here's the thing. When you see somebody doing work, it doesn't always necessarily mean that the person is throwing negative energy that way. Shishi and Lynna are both in the money lamp that I have. So if somebody reads it and goes, oh, Tanya's working you, what is the context of me working them? Because I've made mistakes like that too, where I've seen work and I haven't looked deeper into it. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing work on you. But then when I go deeper into it, the person could be doing healing work. They could be doing love work for the person, and the person doesn't know. So we have to be very mindful too when we pass those messages on. Shishi, I'm sorry, I just wanted to.
No, that's true, because I know I did show up. I have showed up in people's reading, and I'm like, I put them in the love lamp, or like, or I sent like money towards them or something, and I'm like, I'm not working them. And sometimes I have to remind myself that, like, when people say someone's working you, I automatically think, okay, you're sending something negative, like, because that's what it sounds like, right? You're being worked. But then I'm like, yeah, I have sent people money, energy. Or I've sent people
I need to just say, Alyssa, I'm working you.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Show up in your reading.
You know, sometimes workers will ask for your permission. Like, do you mind if I add you to this candle, or if I add you to a lamp? Friends tend to just do it.
That's
Friends
true.
friends
I
tend to
have
be
done
like,
that.
I'm doing a money lamp, so I'm gonna go ahead. I know my friends could use a little bit of a boost, so let me go ahead and put them in this lamp. But I'm not telling them that. So not
Yeah.
everything is negative. Sometimes when we see people that we feel like, oh, they're throwing at us, it could be evil eye energy, but for some, it literally could be that a person actually is trying to do something good for you. And then you listen to that third party that comes, there's confusion, because now it's like, okay, I'm pissed at you because I heard you doing work on me.
Yeah.
There, you have to use a lot more discernment with that, I think.
Yeah, and like y'all were saying earlier, it you can really gotta pay attention to where it come from too. Because one, if you get a reading from say Tanya's gonna look into it and she's gonna say, "Whoa, I'm gonna be nosy." I think that's the word you use. I'm gonna be nosy.
I will be.
Look and find out what's going on here. Or somebody else might say, "Oh, they're just doing bad." So you have to see first the source and the context.
And until you have to have a friend that's a voice of reason. Like Lynna and Shishi are like the bounce offs. Like, okay, because I can get hot headed. I can really be impulsive sometime and go with, what the fuck? That motherfucker did. And then I'll talk to Lynna, and Lynna will be like, with their little voice,
Right.
Tanya, I don't see it that way. Or Shishi with her calm voice will be like, well, let's look a little bit deeper. Sometimes you need accountability partners in the community too. You do, because sometimes we get people that incite our fear, and we when we are feeling like we're attacked, the first thing is we want to be defensive, and we want to fight. But sometimes, not every battle is worth it. There's plenty of people I wouldn't even waste my breath on that'll work in me. I'd be like, they so cute. They so cute. They over there lighting that little candle and rolling in their backyard with they dashiki on. They're so cute. Take a picture and send me that picture. I would not waste energy on them. There are some out there that I know I got to keep my eye on them motherfuckers, because they ain't no good. They evil. I know they evil. I don't need nobody to tell me that. I already know they evil.
Yeah.
So communication, accountability, and discernment. Not everybody who's jealous of you has the power to hurt you.
No, because sometimes actually it's flattering.
It is. You're a fan. How cute. You're a fan. You follow my page.
But it's flattering because you know that you're renting space in their head for free.
Well, all of us.
They are so focused on you. You must be one badass bitch.
And sometimes that should be surprising me too. I'd be like, God damn, we got to have everybody working me out. Shit.
They must really be threatened by you. You are one badass bitch.
I think we all have people that they love to hate, because they show up. They show up to watch. There's nothing else they can do. There's nothing else they can do but watch.
They thrive on drama. What were you going to say, Shishi? You were up there shaking your head.
It's not flattering. I get perturbed. I'm like, seriously? I'm up here minding my business.
But think about it. If somebody's working you, then they're obviously threatened by you, which means that you're a badass bitch. They're giving you
more bothersome. That's to me. I'm just like, I guess I have to remind myself not everybody thinks the same, and I'm like, I'm not gonna work you because I think you're better, or because I think you're badass. If that's the case, I'm gonna observe and I'm gonna see what I can learn.
Right?
But you go ahead, because you're making a good point.
Because like you sitting here trying to rip somebody else down could actually be your blessing in disguise. You could be seeing that person because you're supposed to learn something from that person, or maybe that person is supposed to maybe that person that you're working, whether you know it or not, is supposed to be either your friend, your mentor, your teacher of some sort. But people, instead of viewing people as a threat, why can't we look at it and be like, why can't we learn? Now, there are sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I look at people, I'll be like, that's not working for me because you are being socially irresponsible by telling people they can work with all these deities, knowing there's a lot more to that shit than, you know, like just certain things they may be doing, as we say, building a brand.
Right.
It's things like that that bother me. But people's success, I'm happy when people are successful because I know they probably did have to put in a lot of work, and there was the long nights and whatever else. Like, I know that you and Tanya put in your long nights, you put in your work. I know there are times you're up till 2 a.m, you know, helping people or doing those things. I'm not gonna look at that and be like, oh my god, you guys have more followers than me, and then you, knowing that I don't do a lot of the things that you guys do. That's not what I feel. I don't get envious about that because I know that it took a lot of work to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel it's necessary to try to destroy people because you feel threatened, because the truth is, if you feel threatened, then you yourself are saying you were not enough.
Exactly. So
And
that's what I say when people start throwing at Tanya. I'm like, look, they must really be threatened by you. If they still you and break you down, they're afraid of you for something. Because in reality, if you're not afraid of somebody, then what's the point of working on
you wouldn't do the work. But here's the thing too that I've learned as I elevate. People will test you. It's not so much that they're afraid of you. You have a title, you have a position. And unfortunately, for some people, that title is a bullseye for a lot of people. Oh, she's a mambo. Let me throw some shit at her to see if it can get to her house. Or it could get, because that makes the person feel powerful if they do get past your defenses. So a lot of people, when you are elevating and you're growing on an online community and people see you moving and they see your growth, they're like, oh, you have some people that are very, very good and they're waiting for you to get on their level so that you can have battles with them, spiritual battles. Has nothing to do with jealousy. These people just want to test their magic. There's a ton of people out there that fuck over people as experiments, not because they hate them or have any issue with them. It's just like, you know what? I want to do separation work. Like Nancy was saying, somebody tried to cause harm possibly to her relationship. This person is practicing their magic because they see you elevating and they want to see if they can. You know, some people use this target practice. Let's be honest with it.
Yeah.
It's not always about
it's good as fuck.
There are some people out there that are very calculating, and you have some people that are just evil. That this is what they get off on. This is what their spirits get off on. You're the target. So sometimes they're going to attack you because you're weak, and sometimes they're going to attack you because they think you're strong, because they want to see what the outcome of the work is going to be. I know a lot of people that use people as target practice. They don't even know these people and they fuck up their lives because they need guinea pigs. That's why it's important that people keep protections up. Mm-hmm. Now, Nancy, when you
Rob said most of the time you don't have to work someone, your spirit's got you. That's why you need to build your relationship.
Yeah, you need to build your relationship with your spirit.
Because you don't have to do a lot of work because they already taken care of it for you.
And let's real quick address mental illness in the spiritual community. There are people that have very serious mental issues. We have a lot of people that don't know if they're coming or going, and they're practitioners. They have been taken into covens. They have initiated into ATRs. They have been taught certain things. And because of the process of their minds, a lot of these people have a very low moral compass of what they can, what they should do. There are some people out there that I know that are very high in status and have power, but they're mentally unstable. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot more than what people think. A lot of us follow these people, and some of these people, I was like, whoa. When I found out some things about them, I was like, damn, they are batshit crazy, and they have a huge following. Mm-hmm. There's somebody on TikTok that is schizophrenic. He has been pushed out every tradition that he has initiated in, and he has 55,000 followers.
Wow.
That hang on his every word. And if you all you have to do is research him, and you know that he is mentally unstable. He has been. Most people in the community know him as being mentally unstable, but new people coming in, they're not researching. They can't be.
I'm not on TikTok. Who is it? Text me.
No.
Call him out. You can text
No, because even though he is batshit crazy, he has been initiated into 7 traditions. Somebody has shared knowledge with him. And here's the thing too, people. Sometimes coven members and ATRs are about money. They will bring you in, they will initiate you, they will give you spirits, they will teach you things because they want the money. And there's loose cannons out there. There are people that have been thrown out of their houses because they are batshit crazy, because the Mambo or the Ugan that initiated them can't do shit with the person anymore because they flipped. They turned into Chucky. Now you got Chucky walking around here with machetes and blood and working with spirits that are like, connected to them.
Yep.
So you do have some people that get initiated that are mentally unstable. They get taken into covens.
Yeah, they're not vetted very well.
They're not.
They don't vet their people anymore. Not like they should, I don't think.
Well, you shouldn't. I tell my god kids, especially when they're going through shit, and they talk about ceremony, you ain't ready. Because if your mind is not right, it can literally fuck you up a lot more than what you go in. And people don't tell you that because they're trying to get the money. There are some ethical people out there that will tell you, like me with my god kids, no, you're not ready. Why would I let you go through a ceremony that you're not ready for? And then you come back out fucked up. And then I have to deal with trying to help you straighten that shit out. When it didn't have to be that way. I don't care how much money you have. There's certain things that you cannot do or you don't need to do when you're not right in the head.
Because you're putting spirits in their head on top of crazy in their head.
Some people feel like the spirits it doesn't always happen that way. It doesn't always happen that way. And then you got a jealous, envious, evil, deviant person that will cause harm.
And sometimes keep in mind if people are going
Day, for some reason, Facebook is messing up. So if you are having problems, there's a link. Go watch on YouTube. There doesn't seem to be as many problems on YouTube. Okay.
You have to remember, like, emotionally too. Like, that's why they say don't do spell work emotionally. So if you're going through ritual in which they're, bringing spirits into you and you're emotionally unstable, that's going to be even worse because you were already emotionally unstable at that moment.
Well, that's too how you get a lot of people that work innocent people because they're mad. How many people have had an argument with somebody on Facebook and they're a practitioner and it's like, bitch, you said the wrong thing. Now I'm going to go to my altar and fuck you up. That's a moment. You may calm down and tomorrow not even be fazed by whatever the comment was. But we have to take accountability when you are dealing with spirits and power and energy and alchemy. You are responsible for what you do. I don't give a shit whether you believe in karma, threefold law, or whatever. You're going against people that you don't know what type of spirits, what type of protection they have. You can fuck yourself up by being impulsive. And we all have been there. There's times when spirit will tell me, go sit your ass down somewhere because you ain't making no sense. Because I'll be at the altar. And spirit be like, girl, go eat some ice cream, look at Netflix, because they know they don't even want to deal with the fuckery. And my spirits hold me accountable. My friends hold me accountable. You need that in this community. You can't just go off, half cocked. You shouldn't be wanting to fight with everybody. You shouldn't be so free willy to throw. There's just some people out there that have so much anger and trauma and the pain. And they utilize that to hurt people because they're hurt. What is that saying? Hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah. I'll admit when I was younger, in my younger spiritual days, I would be quick. I would be like, so yeah, they made me mad. So yeah, I have this whole thing. And I would be taking pictures. I was in Tonya.
And you have
just sitting on my oven.
And here's the thing, Shishi has the gift of manifestation. Her words and her thoughts have power. She doesn't have to go light a candle on her altar. She can speak it. And once you say the words, once you who was that guy you were dating? I'm putting your business out there. I'm putting your business out there, Shishi.
When he pissed me off,
Tell
and
him
he
the
pissed me off so
story.
bad, and I was
Look, I'm rubbing off on you, Tonya.
no, he
Tell him
made
the
me so
story.
mad. I was dating somebody, and he was being a total douche. It was back and forth, and finally, I was like, you know what? He had said the wrong thing, and I had called Tanya, and I was in tears, and I just stopped, and I was like, he can just die now. And then I get this message on my phone, like 5 minutes. He had gotten into this major accident. Car just jacked up from front to back.
Girl.
The police were like, we're surprised you walked out. And he sends me this message. I almost died today. They said that I was lucky to get out. And I look at Tanya, I was like, well, almost doesn't count, but
Literally, y'all, it was like we had a conversation. She called me back, and homeboy had been in a major accident. So you're going to come across people that can do that. I can manifest fast too. My spirits will. I had an issue with a guy that had a problem with me, and he was talking to me crazy. And I wanted to jump on his ass. I really did. Because I was like, who the fuck are you talking to me? I don't like people talking to me crazy. Who the fuck are you talking to me like that? Your ego needs to be checked. Not even a full day. He made a post and something happened and his ego got checked. His ego got checked. But yeah, she should damn it that dude.
I know there was. I know I was talking to Tanya and Angela at the same time, and another person I was dating really peeved me off. And then all of a sudden, it was like 10 minutes, and I get this message. Did you do something that made me faint in the kitchen? No, absolutely not. I did not do anything that made you pass out in the kitchen and black out for like a good 15 minutes. All right, I'll talk to you later. It was not me.
But it happens, and sometimes spirit is like, you have to be careful with your impulses, because there are other workers out there that have this gift, y'all. There are other people that's why some people do get hit from jealousy and envy, because when you have somebody who's impulsive and they speak it into your life, they can cause chaos. That's why you always have to keep your protection up. But a lot of times on social media, when you're going back and forth with somebody, and there's anger there, you don't know what the other person's gift is or what their protection is. You could be opening yourself to a spiritual warfare that you really don't want, especially if you're not even on that level. Shishi is about to do a manifestation class, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Shania, get with her, because she did one. What was it? Pre-pandemic. You had a manifestation class, and then the pandemic came and everything kind of shut down. But you guys, get with her, because she is about to do another manifestation series, I believe. So it's not just a class; it's a series, right?
It is. It's definitely stepping into your own creative power. Oh my God, I can't believe you put my business out there. Now people be like, don't talk to Shishi. She be saying stuff.
That's good.
Like, don't talk to Tanya. She be saying shit too.
Now they know, but I wanted to make a point. I really did, because you say, and I think some people do know, you gave a manifestation class and a glamour class where you said that literally everything that you do and talk and speak tends to happen and come for you. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's pulling on you, then they'll see that too, which you shouldn't be, but some people will do that. But here's the thing. She's very quiet. She's very educated. She's very classy. She doesn't argue with people on Facebook. People that don't know her, that if you got into it with her and she was like, you know what, bitch, die. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So, but you don't know that from her demeanor. Now, for me, I'm a little bit more loudmouth. People think that my bark is a whole lot worse than my bite, and I'm cool with that. But I am a nice person.
You are a nice person.
I am a nice person. I'm not so quick to want you to die. But there, you can be pushed. You can be pushed, but you don't know who you're dealing with.
But I'm a calm person, so I mean, it takes a while for me to get there now. Now I'm just like, eh. But then when I'm there, I'm like, I think there's only been one time that you've talked me out of like destroying somebody. But like, can we just just a little? I was ready though,
and I think that was going to destroy a whole country. That's why you had to be talked out of it, because I think it was going to be a little bit more of a ripple effect than what you thought it was going to be.
I was ready. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes, she was, y'all. When she give you that smile, She has this smile and her eyes light up. When you see that, don't fuck with her. Don't fuck with her. Just, send her a gift and be like, okay, we cool. Don't fuck. When she give you that smile, and you'll know the smile, y'all. When you see it, don't fuck with her.
But only once have I been talked out of it. Even Sophie's looking at like, bad Tonya. She should have just let you do it. Some days, just in there, we could do it, Sophie.
That's why you have to have friends that hold you accountable. You have to.
I know.
Sophie.
But I think people also, we're gonna be honest, underestimate Lynna. Lynna be sitting here vaping, killing people.
Yes.
I'm innocent. I didn't do anything.
I know, sending people orange T-shirts like, "You're my friend," and then I murdered somebody. Like, you think it went okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make me some bread, and we're gonna be good with this. I'm like,
yeah. Until you guys be careful of interceding on things that you don't know everything about. You can get caught up in shit that is not supposed to be your shit. In fact, yesterday I was supposed to do some work, and every time I tried to do the work, something kept coming up, and it was because spirit was like, no. Every step of the way, it was like, no. So I went back and I called my papa, and I was like, okay, I need confirmation because I'm trying to do something for this person, and it was a baneful work. And he said, no, spirit is like, you're not supposed to be in the middle of that. You're overstepping boundaries. And they were telling me that. They were, everything that was shutting it down, they were telling me that. So don't be so freaking willy-nilly to get in other people's battles too. Oh, everybody's working me. Let me team up with you and work these people. If you are two people going after a coven, you can get fucked up. You could be dealing with what is it? A regular size coven is what, 13 people?
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
I've seen covens that have 40 to 50 people. Nowadays, there's covens that they're pulling their resources together to work one person. So you really, before you get into spiritual battles on other people's behalf, divine that shit. Know where you stand in it, because you're the middleman. That shit could bounce back on you in a minute. Especially if this is a jealousy, envy thing, and there's no right or wrong in it. You could get really fucked up with that with some people.
And I'll tell you right now, some smaller covens that have. Go ahead, sorry.
No, yes. And then I'll say.
Some smaller covens that have 7 people, some of the most powerful covens that I have ever seen, have been well put together 7 people covens.
Smaller covens are like rattlesnakes.
Exactly.
Because their members have been vetted. Probably because their members have been vetted.
Smaller covens are rattlesnakes. I wouldn't even try to fuck with somebody that was in a coven that was small, because you're right. They're very focused and they move in a uniformed way. Larger covens don't move that way because there's always this little nickering back and forth with favorites and shit like that. But when you deal with covens that are 10 people or less, that is a well-oiled machine. That high priest, the priest who commands that coven, they don't give a shit. They don't.
And usually, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even looking at the ones with men in them. It's the ones with very strong women who have very strong lineages, and they vet them. They read their past, they read everything, and they're like, and they do certain tests. Are you either strong enough to be in this coven or not? And those are the ones that be getting you fucked up for life. Those are the ones that got the generational curses be putting on people.
Lord, yes.
All the way down to your kid.
It's true.
So no. I was gonna say, I don't usually get involved in other people's shit, but Tonya, on the way back from Portland, you said, oh, I got this issue, I need to do this. And it's like, okay, let me find a place.
Yeah, that's different when it's your friend. Like, I mean,
there's, certain circumstances where you can, but you really better know that person because your ass is on the line too.
Yeah.
I would put my ass on the line for Tonya. I mean, that's true. Many people know that. I'd be like, well, shit.
Yeah, girl, she told me that, and she said that she had, this stuff, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna find a place. We're gonna drive through the fucking mountains until we find the perfect spot.
But I think we've all done that for each other.
Yeah.
But
really, neither one of you have to ask, because I already know, like you say, the situation, and I know that when I step into it, I want to step into it.
You volunteer. If you put your ass on the line, make sure that you know your ass is on the line. So you better know that person that you're backing up.
Yeah.
If you just jump in on the bandwagon and start running your mouth and doing work against somebody because somebody else said some bullshit, your ass is still on that line. Make sure it's
you better make sure if you're willing to put your ass on the line for somebody, they better be willing to put their ass on the line for you too.
Exactly. If they're not willing to put their ass on the line for you, no.
Don't do
it. It's true. I've seen a lot of jealousy and petty magic done with people that had no loyalty to the people that they were working with. They would stab you in the back. They friends with you when they need you, but the moment that the stuff is done, you're a free agent again, which means that if you have a problem with them, the same thing that you help them with, they can do to you too. There's a lot of people that play that game like that. There's no loyalty. There really isn't.
Yeah. And that being said too, you were talking about covens pulling together to work against one person. How is that really going to work when those covens don't know each other? They don't have that bond.
And that's, I think that's definitely.
By all of them in the ass.
All of them. If I had to join a coven, it would be a very small coven. It would be a very small one.
And I could see that. I definitely could see that. And here's the thing: never give up your free will. Don't allow other people to think for you because somebody has an issue, or there's jealousy, or there's this make-believe beef. Don't allow somebody to pull your power. Sometimes people only make friends with you because you are powerful. They see it, or you have lineage and they need you to boost them. I know people that will go to other people's events or covens or whatever, and then give their blood for the ritual or the ceremony, and they're not even a part of the group. So it's like, why are you letting them use your blood? Like, that makes no sense to me. So we have a lot of people out there. There's discernment when it comes to people that you're dealing with, because sometimes people will be friends with you and they don't really give a shit. They don't like you. I've seen that so much in the community. We know that. We know people that will work with each other that can't even stand each other for money.
Exactly.
Or for a common cause. And that's,
And what happens is at least one of those parties is going to go back and run their mouth about the other party.
Oh, yeah. Like I say, there's no loyalty.
The money's been made, until next time, shall we say. But in the meantime, I'm going to go run my mouth about you. That's not cool.
Talk about you like a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I love y'all to death, and I have a certain amount of trust with my friends, with my circle. I trust my spirits 100% more.
Data's asking, so what if you experience jealousy within a coven or house? My point of view on this, and I'll let y'all speak to, is if you are uncomfortable in any way in a house or a coven, you have the right to leave. If a coven wants you to do work or a house wants you to do work, you will work against the person and you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
My take on that is, before you join anything, ask about those things before you join the house anyway. Or the coven. Because you have to say, okay, am I allowed to practice if I need to do things on my own? Yay or nay? They're going to ask you what type of practice. Where are you going? Because they have their own code of conduct. Then you can say, okay, well, if you guys are attacking someone else and I don't feel comfortable, am I going to be forced or shunned should I not choose to partake in attacking
you need to
someone
know that.
else? And if they say, yes, you're going to be shunned, or we do this as a team, then you automatically know. You automatically know. And I never go by but it only happens every once in a blue moon. Every once in a blue moon is like bullshit. That's when it usually happens more often than not.
They're taking away your freedom of choice.
Right.
And I think,
and jealousy, there's always going to be jealousy. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's always going to be jealousy in covens and houses.
I think the tough part is when you run into any circle, which is why I really do like smaller groups. You want to be in the high priestess or whoever runs the coven is going to, when you speak to them, is going to always tell you how everyone else will react. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, if they have major jealousy, if they don't like to see their people grow, then you automatically know that's not where you need to go.
Yeah.
If they are bossing their people around or saying I'm high priest or high priestess and this is what I say goes, then you automatically know that's not where you need to be, because you're not going to be able to grow. They're not going to let you grow, and jealousy is already there because they're already being too controlling.
Yeah.
So I think you should ask those questions before you join.
Yeah, you definitely, if you have somebody that is not giving you a voice, then you have a problem. And in Vodou, when you join an ATR, you cannot work your family with Vodou. That doesn't mean that if you're a witch,
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, because the spirits have a system of they balance that.
But people,
but you can work them with other traditions. Not everybody that practices Vodou is that's the only thing that they do. You have people that may be hoodoo workers, root workers, witches. So if I can't work you with Vodou, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you with a different tradition that I can work you with, because that doesn't cross lines. Now, here's the thing: in ATR, there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of envy, there are cliques. As with any large group of people, you have family that will not always get along. There are people that I don't like, that I don't particularly care for, but then there's egos that are involved in that too. Here's the thing, what they always tell us: I don't give a shit how you feel about somebody. When it comes to ceremony, spirit is who we honor, spirit is who we serve, spirit is who we work with, which means that if I come in and I have a problem with Shishi, that shit gets left outside the door.
yeah,
That means that we gonna salute, we gonna bow down. I'm gonna give you your respect. You're gonna give me my respect. And when the ceremony is over, I'll be like, bitch, bye until the next time we have to see each other. Because we don't have to be friends, but we have to serve spirit. Now, even with my god kids and shit like that, it should be no jealousy or envy. I don't like it. I don't deal with it. I don't play favorites. And you have some mentors, like Shishi said, that play favorites. They play people against each other because it gives them power to know that they can control these people. You have to think for yourself when you get into these groups or these organizations. If you cannot think for yourself, you need to be a solo practitioner. If you have to figure it out, because if you join a group and all of a sudden this group takes over your mind, you're not ready. You're not ready to be involved in it. You need to be stronger. Your mind needs to be stronger. Nobody thinks for me. If I'm in an environment and I don't like it, I'm bouncing. I don't give a shit who's the head priest, who's the mambo, who's the ugan. I'm not going to put myself in a position or an environment where it goes against who I am as a person. At the end of the day, I have to be right with my spirits.
yeah. It's not about you. It's not about Shishi. It is supposed to be about
Yeah.
y'all. At that point, you are not insignificance. Not a good word, but in that case, it's not about y'all. It's about spirit.
It should be about spirit, period.
I'm gonna give y'all a weird, and I feel like most people know it, but a weird example of, being controlled and people, how their minds are malleable. Everyone saw the older version of The Craft. Remember the one with Farouk the Balk, and she started getting crazy. She was doing things that one of the girls didn't feel comfortable with. But the other two girls were malleable. They were like, well, we want the power and now we're popular. We're going to do whatever Nancy says. When you have someone of that nature and they won't allow you to think for yourself, they don't want to listen to your voice, that says a lot. Because then you're put in a situation where you may be attacked because you decide that you don't want to be a part of something that they feel everyone should be a part of.
Yeah.
And that's where people get got. And I know a lot of people aren't going to say that, but when you're just sitting there following sheep because you don't know who protects who, because a lot of the time everyone believes
you being a sheep, you're led to slaughter because you're just following the crowd.
Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, there's power in numbers. And in many cases, in many spells, there are powers in numbers. But it doesn't mean that one person cannot be legion because they have many. and then you're sitting there getting fucked up by different spirits from God knows where because you were a sheep.
Well,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter whether you're in a group or not. You should always have your own spirits and have your own protection going at all times.
Yeah.
That's true, but it depends on your coven. Certain covens will not let you have different deities outside of them. So it depends on the
Yeah,
coven.
that wouldn't be my coven.
Mine either.
So
If
there's certain
if
covens
I
that are
can't
only
do my own protection work for my house and my kids, then fuck them.
But
'Cause
that's how it is. Some covens are only, like, let's say, assigned to Hecate. And they're like, you only work with Hecate. That's a purity, you know. They're like, that is who that is. Some are
But
only
you can use Hecate for your own private protection at home. So you've got that protection.
Yeah, but you have to think about it. It's like, I get that, but when it's a
But
whole
what if you have
coven, they
other
all know
spirits
what
that
you're
want to
doing.
work with you?
And that exactly. But then the other part is, keep in mind, I had someone try to attack me with Hecate. A man tried to attack me with Hecate. It didn't work because, well, I have Hecate, and also Hecate doesn't just attack women to attack women. So he didn't do his research. So a lot of the times, because the information's out there, you still have to, yes, form your relationship with the deity. But if everyone in that group is connected to that deity, there's still a link there. You have formed a link with that group, depending on how they do that initiation ritual or whatever it is. Some initiation rituals are required with blood. You know, so you have to think about all of that. Ask those questions before you join that. And if they're not going to let you think for yourself, don't join it and then just be getting your ass kicked because someone told you can't do something. So yeah, it may not be the coven for many people, but there are certain covens that are just straight pure like that. You worship who you worship.
Yeah,
So.
it's crazy because I mean, I hear certain things about certain covens in the community. Of course, I don't know every coven, but I hear when some people that leave certain ones, that the coven turns on them, or the high priestess turns the coven on them. And it goes back to character. Nobody should be afraid to let you grow. If you don't fit in that environment anymore, you shouldn't have to worry about somebody working you. This person should let you go. I truly believe sometimes we only take people as far as we can, and then we have to let them move on. If I'm trying to hold you back, that is not a positive thing. You shouldn't be afraid. And I mean, even with me leaving my last voodoo house, everybody, you would swear I blew it up and sprayed blood all over the streets as my exit plan. All I did was like, you know what? I'm not growing. I love you guys. I'm moving on. And them bitches was like, we burying you in the graveyard. Like, what the fuck? For what? Like, you bury me in the grave. You don't want to just smack me a little bit on my head? You want to kill me? So there's you. It goes to show I probably made a bad choice in the first place to have to deal with that energy.
I mean, sometimes I don't think we see the flags, right? Everybody's like, see the red flags when you're in relationships, but we don't. When we jump in the spiritual community and we see the names, we see the houses, we see the covens.
You're just so happy to belong that you don't.
Yes. And you don't see the red flags in that.
Especially when you've been looking for a long time, you get someplace and you think it's your sanctuary. It's really hard to look at the red flags in the midst of that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But I don't know what happened to Lynna. Is she still there?
She fell off. I don't know. I was like, did she just text us? I heard a beat. Did she just say, "Oh, I don't know what happened"?
I think she tried to close off because she's asking if we're still online. So I don't know if she's trying to end.
I don't know what's happening. She's like, "Y'all still there?" Like,
yeah, like what happened? She got pulled into the abyss.
I know. She bling. She vaped a little bit. The smoke, poof, bam, genie light. But no, I mean, I hope this answered many people's questions.
That's true, Laverne. You're right. No, I hope it did too. I did too, because jealousy is a major thing right now. Unnecessary work is a major thing right now.
Yeah. She said her fuse popped, waiting for the router to come back online. But I mean, I think honestly, as you really start learning more about the spiritual world, as you start learning more about yourself, you discern who you want to be involved with, what you want to be involved with. Then you discern, like, is it really necessary to give certain things energy? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you're calm, but in reality, I'm not always calm. In my head, there's a lot of things going on. What you see out
Right.
here is pretty calm. But then I have to step back and say, is that even worth giving the energy? I have to honestly say, I have never gone to work someone in the community just because. I didn't find it necessary. I think it's immature, but I have had people throw at me, and thus here we are. Then we had to do things.
Yeah.
But just to say, okay, I'm jealous because you have more followers. I've never found it necessary to do that. And I think, we go back to character, we go back to personality. If you are threatened by someone else's growth, instead of taking the opportunity, like, honestly, I learned so much from Tonya. I don't even know how long I've known Tonya. At this point, I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, I just knew it forever. But
Well, thank you for that. But I feel the same thing. I think there's a mutual exchange of energy and knowledge.
But I don't ever look at Tonya. I mean, even like when we were just brand new and everybody was talking to Tonya, she was doing the lives, the readings, everything. I was like, oh my God, look at her getting all these people. I'm gonna work her. No, I didn't think it was necessary. And I think sometimes you have to sit down and what I've learned about
your own ego.
Spirituality is very, it's very introspective, and you have to sometimes sit down and be like, what the fuck am I thinking? In which I have to do all these things to someone else to feel validated.
Right.
Because when you sit down, and I'm going to take it a step further, not everything is somebody working someone where they're like, oh my God, this is why I don't have any business, or no. But sometimes the shit that we have to deal with is literally us. And just to let you guys know, we're all manifestors. We're manifesting 24/7. And so you are manifesting your shit. One way or the other, the way it comes about.
Manifesting whether it's good or bad.
It's true. Let's see. Laverne said, what about sharing works? Here's the thing, and a couple of elders have told me this throughout the years. People teach you what they know, but that doesn't mean that they teach you everything that they know. So, there's nothing wrong with sharing works. When you take mentors in, you're sharing what you have learned. But don't ever assume, don't ever get cocky and think that the mentor has taught you everything, every work that they know, because some mentors unfortunately have to keep their protections up, because I've had people that, like, they mentored people, and then the people they mentored turned around and worked the shit out of them, like their own students turned on them, because all they wanted was the knowledge. There was no loyalty or connection to the mentor. They paid money to learn the class. So I was always told, don't assume that you know everything that I know when sharing works.
Yep.
And for some of you, don't be so willy-nilly to share your deeper works with people, because not everybody is going to respect it the way you do. Not everybody's not going to understand the meaning of the work the way that you do.
And
trust.
Trust.
Yeah. And that takes time to build.
Yeah.
But another thing is like
the thing with, jumping in and interceding with somebody. If you wouldn't jump in and intercede for somebody, then why would you share your work with that person?
But the other thing is, if you're like me and you write your own things and you put your own things together, you're not going to always be comfortable sharing that, because some of that is your own workings.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've all put together our own things.
You feel responsible for that.
Yep. And so, I mean,
that's why not everybody likes to teach baneful work, because, they have some type of accountability that I taught this person how to do this, and then they used it to fuck up somebody who's innocent. And as a mentor or a coven leader or, a mambo, it does make you, once you share the knowledge, you release how people are going to use it, but you hope that they're going to do it responsibly. But not everybody has the best of agendas.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially when you start getting to the higher magics, But I think also if you're really interested in learning, then read and learn what you can on your own. So then the right mentor comes in for you. Because when you're ready,
manifest the right mentor.
you manifest the right mentor. When you are ready and you are aligned with yourself spiritually, then really truly the right mentor will come along. You'll be able to discern the wrong mentor from the right mentor according to your energy, your values, and all of those other things. Don't
And
be so
that's true.
quick to want to just have a teacher. I will say from experience that was my fault in many ways. And I was protected in many ways because many of the teachers for some reason fell through. I have only one male teacher. For some reason, my ancestors would not let me have a male teacher until I came across this one. And it was more so because it was a mutual level of respect and discussion. We respected each other at the same level. We knew different things. So I consider him a teacher. He's like, whatever, you're a teacher too. So that's how we work. But I know when I stepped into the world, I was so desperate to have a teacher, so desperate to have a mentor because, you want to learn. But then I realized, well, I'll be sitting here waiting forever if somebody's going to teach me, or what if they teach me the wrong thing? Because there were so many contradictory things going out there. So study for yourself. Don't be scared to teach yourself, because then you're going to find what you like and what you don't like. Baneful magic is not for everybody. Baneful magic I like. Some people want to do only light work. I can sometimes find light work very boring, but I can do it.
I just do whatever needs to be done at the time, whether it be light or painful. You just do what you got to do.
Bottom line, you just have to be accountable for whatever you put out there. All right, Miss Lynn, I know you got to go. I know you got to go pick up Taylor. So you guys, we hope we answered as much as we possibly could. I mean, this could honestly, it could have went into a part 2, really.
Yeah.
We've been on here, but we wish you guys the best. We love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Yes. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.